Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here, and welcome to day 8 of the 10-day bead soup challenge. So today we're making some beaded brooches, and it's inspired by a video I did quite some time ago with a beaded shoe brooch. What you're going to need for this project, of course, is your bead soup. I have the littler seed beads and the larger beads. You need your tools. I'm going to use 18 gauge wire for the outline and 24 gauge wire to fill it in. I'm going to experiment with the car brooch. This is for Julie, who asked me for car designs. I'm going to use the washers for the wheels, and then you're going to need pin backs. So you could either use the bar pins or these simple straight pins. I sell these actually in my Etsy supply shop because I bought a surplus of them many years ago. And in a pinch, you can always use a safety pin, or if you don't want to make a brooch, you can make a pendant. I also made this template with some of the designs that you can trace. So for the cat, you could cut a 12 to 15 inch piece of 18 gauge wire, and we're just going to start around here, and we want to just start tracing our shape. So you can do this by eye, or you can follow the template if it's easier for you. So once you've done the shape of the cat, when I use the thinner pins, I wind them in right away, but because the bar pin is a little thicker, we're going to add it after. So we're just going to hold the two wires in place and then just wind this around just to secure it in place. Bring it to the back and give it a little clip. And then this side too, we're just going to hold it, make sure it's in the position that you want. Hold it in place, and then we're just going to bring this one around, bring it to the back. It's just so we can finish those ends and they're not showing, so we're just going to go like that. You can finish it in any way you want. You basically just want the two ends to be attached and to finished off. So this looks nice and clean with a straight line across there, and then we're going to fill it in with beads. So you need about a 3 feet piece of wire. This is 24 gauge wire, so you need about 3 feet of 24 gauge wire. And then I'm just going to start in the middle of the back of the cat, and don't worry if you don't have enough wire, you can add more after. So we're going to take this and bring it inside, and then do a full turn around, and we're going to start beading it. Kind of push this to it so it's to the front, and then you can do any pattern you want. You can do a combination of small beads and large beads. That's what I like to do, make a variety of the sizes of beads. So there's a couple of seed beads. Here's a 6mm cat's eye bead, and that seems to be a good width. So then we're going to just wind it around through the cat and then back up this way, and then we're going to do another row of beads there. So if you have a big one there, you might want to put a smaller one beside it just so it will fit better. So we do a couple of those ones, and then we can do a larger one and then a medium size. It's nice to put metallic beads in there too. So we're going to go to here, that fits pretty well, and then wind this one around. And the idea is you want to just keep going until you fill in the whole cat, and then after that you can add the pin back. So we're going to bring this to the front around here, and then I'm going to do a row that will go down the leg. So this row goes right down to the end of the foot, and then we can just take the wire and push it around, and then we can work our way back up. Now if you want to make it a little more fancy, you can bring it around and wind the wire around the legs just to give it a little more interest and a little more stability. You can definitely do that, and then just take this one and wind it sort of between the legs there, and then we're going to bring it back up to the back behind the tail, add a few more beads, and then we can bring some more beads down that way. So if this is taking up a little bit of space, just put a few little beads up there. So you can wind this around here, and then we're going to go back down, right down to the bottom of the foot, and then make our way back up again. So I'm going to wind it around the bottom of the foot like we did the previous one, and then to the back, and then I like the way it looks with the wound wire, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then it's going to make it a little bit more secure and a little bit more fancy. So just like that. If you want to do it a little more up here too, just randomly stick your wire up and around, and then the same thing, you can bring it up to here. And then what you want to do is just bring it up the tail. So for the tail, you're not going to need very big beads, you're just going to put a bunch up to the top. So once you have it to the top of the tail, we'll do like we did the feet. So we're just going to wind it around the top part here. Now my end isn't super big, so I'm not going to be able to twist it around too much, but we're going to bring it around here, and then we can twist it around a little bit to hold it in place. And you can always add another wire if you want it more secured. So just bring that around, wind it around here like a couple of times. If you do want another wire, just get a scrap and wind it around a few more times. So just take that little scrap wire, no problem, perfect, and then just clip it and pinch it in place, and then here too, just bring it around to wherever you want and clip it, and just make sure your little rough ends are stuck in so they're not going to get caught on anything. So there we have the back part of the kitty, and we're just going to keep going until we fill it all in. So here I brought my wire up here, and I'm just doing a string of beads down to the bottom. So I brought it to the forehead, and I'm going to twist it around and then make my way back down to the foot. If you have a little skinny area and you want to put a little bugle bead in there, you can. So I'm back down to the foot, so I'll wind it around there as we did before. Just pull that right down, and then do the wind around the beads again to hold them in place. And then now I need this area filled in where the cheek is, so I'll just bring this one around here. Just careful with your bugle bead, they can be fragile, you don't want it to snap. And we're going to go around here, and then we'll just fill in this area, and then I'll probably have to add another wire for that area. So we're back up at the ear, and we're just going to stick that one in here, pull it around, and I will have to add another wire to go on the other side because I don't want to run out of wire. Make sure you put your little ends in there, and we'll add another wire here. What we can do before we fill in that little area is just add our bar pin, and then we can fill in that area right at the end. So you want to get the pin in a way that the opening is below, and we're just going to hold that on top, and we're going to wind it in place. So make sure it's centered how you like. It's practically like sewing it in, and we want it to be discreet. Make sure it sits below the bar across the top here. So stick this in about a little more than halfway because we want the rest to go up here, and we're just going to kind of sew it in place. So take the pin and go through a couple of times through that hole. Just gonna bend that and just bring it around. I would go a couple of times. So just put it through again, that hole. So we're gonna put it through again. And then you also have to pull it like a little bit below. So hold it here and then just go below here as well, because you want it secured on both sides. So go through there. That's looking good. And then what we want to do is we can go through it one more time. Put it through there again and pull it tight. And then we want to go through the next hole. So hold it, make sure it's staying below the back line of the cat. Stick that through there. Give that a tug. Careful it doesn't break. If it does break, it's not really a big problem because you can always add another wire. So we're going to bring this one through, just stitching it in place. And then bring it through. You could just bring it now below the bar. It doesn't always have to go right through the hole, so we could just even put it around the bar a couple of times. And then bring this one to the front. So now we're in a position where we can just fill in those last few beads there. So you have your last few beads, and then just stick that through the ear, pull it nice and tight, and then you can just clip that end off right there, and then you're going to pinch that in. So now to finish the rest of it, you're just going to take this other wire and then just finish sewing on the bar pins. And then to finish it off, you can just find a spot where you can just pull it through the wire that's on the back of the cat and give it a pull, and then just clip it off. And there you have your super cute little kitty pin. You can just stick that in the bar pin. The bar pin is nice and solid, and then just adjust it how you want. You can spread open the legs a little bit if they're not showing that well, if they're too close together, and there's your little cute kitty pin. Julie had a special request for a car, so I'm going to try this with the O-rings just for fun. And you can do it in the same way you've done the cat, just the outline, and fill it in with beads. And I'm just going to try it this way just to see how it goes. I'm just going to place it on the wire and bend that one through like this. So we're just going to be a little bit careful because it is very stiff wire. This is very similar to the idea for the motorcycle that I did a little while ago. I can link up that video below. And then I thought it would be cool to put like a little bead inside there. So I just twisted the wire around, and I thought it would be fun to put a bead in there. So I'm just going to take this pearl bead and stick it right there, and then I'm going to twist this around the other side of the washer. So we're going to go around here and twist it around, and just be careful because it is very, very stiff wire. And then I'll just measure it against here, so probably at around that position. We're just going to give it a little bend and then put the O-ring in there. So we're going to bring that one here. So I'm going to hold the O-ring and give that a pinch and bring that one around here. I'll stick that one on there, and then we can wind it around this side. So we're just going to wind this one around here, bring it around, and try to keep it somewhat in shape without distorting it. It's getting a little pinched in together. To avoid that, you can just use your round pliers to start the bend, and then bring this one around and just kind of fix up the shape. If you find it too stiff, just use 20 gauge wire. That's totally fine. Okay, so we have our first part of the car there. they're a little distorted, but that's fine. There we go. We're just going to bend it around a little bit. You can always adjust that a little bit. So now we want to get the shape of the car. So print out something like clip art or something, or I'll put these in the community section and on the event page of the challenge. So we're going to take this and then just follow the lines. Okay, there. And then here too, we're just going to follow the lines. You can put actual headlight bead in there, or if you want, you can just use your pliers and make a kind of a stylized headlight. That's perfectly fine. So we're going to go around here, just bring it around, and then bring it up here, and just measure that, and then that's going to go across. So now if you want it to be a pin, we're going to bring this one, curve it around, and we have like the approximate shape, so that's fine. So now if you do want to make a pin, we're just going to get the shape a little bit better. If you want it like a bug, this is going to be more curved, and we're just going to kind of line it up here to see how it looks. So you're going to add the pin in the top here, and then what you're going to do for that is hold this in place and take this one and go over and under. And then what I do is I just take this pin, slide it on there, and then we're going to twist it in place. So just slide it right in there, and then take this and bring it around. So we're going to bring this one around here. We're going to line these ones up here and take this and bring it around a couple of times. If it's easier, hold it with your flat pliers. It's going to be a little easier to work with. Bring this one around, wiggle it, and then this one I'm going to wind around a couple of times this way so it won't wiggle back and forth. So we're just going to wind it around a couple of times. I've cut this wire way too long, but that's okay. So we're going to clip that one, twist that one, bend that one in there, and then we'll just clip this one too. So we'll clip that one there. And this, you want this to be flat at the top, and you want this one to not twist around. So just tighten this up if you have to, so it's going to stay in place, and then that's going to lock into there. So, you know, it looks a little funny. There's a lot of wire up there, but if you fill it in with beads, you're definitely not going to see all of this stuff. And then something that would be fun to do, I was thinking it'd be fun to put like little flowers in the bugs. So, and you can also do like sort of a stylized door. So if you do want to do a door, you can just like add some windows and a door, but for now I'm going to keep it really simple. So if I want to add a flower, I'm just going to take a 24 gauge wire and just bend that at a right angle and put on 6 beads. I have 6 little miracle beads on there. They're 4 millimeters. I'm going to wind this around to make my little daisy. I have a recent tutorial about making a daisy ring and some other older tutorials on making daisy earrings, etc. So there's across from that. And then we're going to get a middle bead and stick the middle bead on there and just wind that through here. And if you want, you could do a bunch of daisies to go on the car. However you want to do it, we can just kind of stick that on there, and we can just attach this one around here, and then say we attach it down here. And we can even do more. So say we go up here and we want to do another one, you can just bend that at a right angle and put on some more beads. So once you have your 6 beads, it's a little awkward to hold because the wire is attached, but we're just going to wind it around and close up the circle, bring it around, and then put the wire across and add a center bead. So we're going to add this yellow one and attach it in here, and then we can see where we're at with the design. So we've got 2 little flowers on there. If you want to add more, you can, but you don't need it to have overkill. Finish it off here. We're just going to bring it here, bring this one around. So you could just clip it there, and then the same on this side. Just see where it's sitting. You can always wind it around another time if it's moving around too much, and then you can clip that one, and then you can pinch that in place, and that one, and there you have a super cute little stylized card pin. So if you want to do a musical note, you could just use a safety pin if you want, and just take your 20 gauge wire, so just wind it around to secure it in the safety pin, and then you can bring it down to this end and just bring it around a few times so it's secure, and then just kind of bring it to that end here. So we're going to go to there and to there. If you need it more secure, just push it through that loop another time, hold it and bring it down, and then it's going to be a little bit more secure. And then we can go ahead and get a couple of beads to go down here. So just bend that and then bend that one. And I'm going to use these larger miracle beads that Clarice gave me. So we're just going to bring that one around to there. And then this one, I'm going to stick that one there. Wind this one to the front and then to the back around here. Okay, and then the same thing with this one to the back. And then we want to make sure they're at about the same position. That looks really good. And then we're just going to clip the ends. So we'll just clip these ends. You can also put beads around the outside of those large beads. That would be fine too. So we're just going to kind of position those in place. And then to make it a little bit more fancy, you can get some 24 gauge wire. This will also reinforce it. So, and then we're just going to bring it to the middle of the note. Just bring it here to the middle and then wind this around. And then we can add some beads and wind it around just to make it a little bit more fancy. So just take this, bring this one around, and then you could do one turn of wire and then add a bead and make your way all the way around. So I decided to add beads around the outsides. So if you're doing this, add the beads before you go up that way. It's going to be easier. And then what I'm going to do is just bend that this way. I'm going to slide it right into that wire there to hold it in place. But like I said, if you're going to do this, wind it around the bead before you go up. It's going to be much easier. And to finish it off, you just wind wire and beads all the way around. Bring this to the back and just clip it. And then I'm just going to do the same thing where I loosen this one up and add beads. And then we have both sides that are wound with beads. It's kind of funky. If you only have a safety pin, it's kind of a cool option. And it's a little soft, but it's all good. It's very fun. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire work, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my wire work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below to my mailing list, I'll send you my free Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.